Monday, November 10th, 1986. 17-year-old Kate Moyer bursts into a supermarket in Fremantle, Western Australia. She is half naked, crying and telling people about what has just happened to her. She was just one of 5 women who had been abducted over only a 5-week period, but was the only survivor. This, G-Love, is the case of David and Catherine Birnie, otherwise known as the Morehouse murders.
Oh, Australian. I don't know this one.
Oh, buckle in. It is a horror story.
Okay.
A warning up the top of this episode. This is very, very dark and is triggering, and it will be triggering to a lot of listeners. It involves talk of sexual abuse, rape, murder, the assault of children, and really heavy themes. If you know the story of David and Catherine Birnie, you already know how dark this one is right here in Australia. I've cut the story down as much as possible and have avoided a lot of themes in this, but I found myself going into a lot of research, but I've tried not to talk too much about the complete horrors of the Morehouse murders. There are a lot that you can go and look a lot more up, is what I'm saying. This is not the only time it's been spoken about. I don't know if you know that, Georgia.
Well,
the only time, but
it's
a horror. It's a horror story.
Oh God.
And yeah, one in Australia that I was really fascinated with. And look, I'm going to say right at the top, if you want to skip ahead, if you're going to be goddamn lame, you can do that. You can skip ahead and
go straight to the story.
Yeah, and the timestamps and everything you need are in the show notes below.
They are.
Oh, hey, Georgia Love. Welcome to Not Another Crime Podcast.
Hang on, wait. That's not.
Oh.
It's meant to go like this, right? Welcome to Not Another Crime Podcast. I'm Georgia Love.
I'm Sammy Peterson.
I'm a journalist.
I am not.
And hey, guess what? I heard a little ad
You're not going to let me guess?
Oh.
You heard an ad?
Yeah. For our podcast on the radio.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Very cool. It was at 5:30 a.m, so I think a lot of people would have heard it.
But hopefully they play it throughout the day as well. Maybe you just skip that bit. You didn't
It was
hear that
so
bit.
funny. I was sitting in the newsroom at work and I heard my voice going, I'm Georgia Love. And I had the weirdest moment where I was like,
You fought with it? No, I am. I am.
Well, I was like, I'm meant to be on air.
Oh.
But then I was like, hang on.
But I am
But
me.
no, I am
Hold
me.
on,
How
I
am I
me.
saying that? They record things these days and play them as
that's
ads
so
later.
funny.
It's wild.
I had this idea in my head a while ago about, just one, about the fact that a show couldn't have started without me. It was like a show that I was the first person on stage, and I was like, they can't start the show without me, and they did.
Oh, they can. Oh,
So they had the music playing and everything, and I was like, that can't be me. They haven't told me yet.
Oh.
And then yeah, absolutely they did. It was just a dead air for a bit.
played your intro music.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't
you
there.
weren't there.
Yeah. I was ages away.
Hey, I've heard this saying before, the show must go on.
Did you just make that up?
Yep.
That's awesome. Hey, G-Love, I've got a bit of a sore tongue today.
Yeah, you got an ulcer.
Got an ulcer.
When I walked
Hardly
in-
knew her. I don't know, something like that.
Tell me, yeah, close.
I'll work on it. I'll
Work
workshop
on
it for a bit. I'll come back.
When I walked in, you went, look at this, and stuck out your tongue like right to the side.
It's nice of me.
Yeah, like
What a
this.
great introduction.
I know, nice to see you
Look at this
too.
disgusting thing. How funny is it when someone goes like, smell this, it smells awful, and you're like, I don't want to smell
I don't
that.
want
I don't want to
to.
then, yeah.
And you got a huge ulcer like right on the back of the side of your tongue. And when I went, oh my God, that looks so painful, you went, oh, let me go and have a look at it. And
Saw it for the
said,
first time.
"It's a lot
It
worse
has
than
been
you
really
realise."
sore today. I have been talking a lot, and I feel like it's got something to do with that.
Are you
It's
saying
my
this so
comeuppance.
if you sound a little bit lispy,
Yeah.
you're prefacing
If you
that
think
so
you're
people-
listening to famous comedian Reese Nicholson, now you know I'm not doing an impression of Reese Nicholson.
No.
Might get us some more views. I might try and
Oh,
do
that's
that. I know I
true.
did that like the money sign to
he's
views.
doing like the money. the
money
more
and money.
views.
But I should go and get some of my drag queen name, Bonjala Lawson. I should go and get my,
very good.
oh my God, I had something at work the other day. So I had to re-sign up my personal phone to the system at work. And the IT guy goes, what's your name on here? And I was like, it's Bonjala Lawson. And he
my
went,
God.
what does that mean? And I went,
No.
and I had to explain it like 6 times and he still didn't laugh.
Oh no, that's so awkward.
But that's
to make
showbiz,
it-
baby.
Oh God, God, you're good.
Sometimes I don't laugh, but that's
But that's
showbiz, baby.
baby. My drag name is Frida Nip.
Oh, I love that. That's so
isn't
good.
it?
I would love to hear from listeners your drag queen
Your
names.
drag
Because they're some of my
names.
favourite things when you realise that, and stripper names are always fun. My stripper name, which is your first, the first home address that you lived at and your first pet.
The other way around.
The other way
I
around.
think,
Yeah, first name of your pet and first place, the street that you lived on. So mine is Milo the Mount.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so
you lived on a street called The Mount.
The Mount, and my first pet was Milo the guinea pig.
So your stripper name is actually a title.
Milo the Mount. Like
the
Alexander
Mount.
the Great. But
That
it's
is
Mount stuff.
which makes first for
really
a stripper.
does.
That's perfect. Milo the Mount. Mine is Brandy Canberra.
Oh,
which
that's
is
a
good.
great name. That's
but
really
yours
good.
is better.
Yeah. I remember once sitting with some friends and the
Oh, you're just remembering sitting with friends and got a good old giggle.
Oh, great
Was
memories.
That nice?
I'd like that to happen again.
Yeah, we'll find you some more.
I remember once someone just said, like, I was sitting with a friend and my friend goes, I was like, what's your stripper name? And he goes, Sam Fullerton. I went, no, that's just your name.
Just your name.
Didn't understand the concept. And
Was he just
wouldn't.
telling you he was a stripper?
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to
This
tell
is the
you.
same friend that I think I've told you this story before. I hope I haven't told this on the podcast before. But the same friend. He is the most insanely attractive man I've ever seen in my life. And his girlfriend, I think I've shown you them before. I'm like, this is the most attractive
you have.
couple in
Long
the world.
hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
They're so beautiful. Of course you do. Bloody beautiful couple.
I don't remember.
And they're so beautiful. And when they first got together, when they were going to like bars and stuff, they now live back on Phillip Island, but when they were like out in the city going to bars and they were first starting dating, I used to say when they were going somewhere like, oh, we're going to go to this bar tonight, I'd always say, tell them Sammy sent you.
Oh my God, yes, you've told me this before, but not on the podcast.
And then they would get to the place and go, Sammy sent us? And they go, what? Sammy sent us? And one time he cut a line. He did it every time.
And said like, we're like Sammy told us you're coming, and you just hadn't.
Yeah, and
That's amazing.
And I used to just go like every time that happened, he'd just send me a message later on, just going "fuck you," and I knew exactly what it was about.
That is so good.
And
I
it'd
love
be like
that
a
so
certain
much.
time of the night, and I go, "Please, Sam Fullerton, please don't use your stripper name. What is your actual name?"
That is very good. That is very, very good.
That was a bit of fun for me.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, how's your week? Do you have any hangouts with any friends this week?
I didn't have any hangouts with friends this week. Oh wait, yes I did. My two best friends, my parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
which
my
was really
God.
nice. They've been away for 3 months, I think. Yeah, 3 months.
That's wild.
In Vietnam.
They're just living the life.
Living the goddamn
Retired
life.
and just traveling the world.
Grey nomads.
So they were. So I was here the other day as
Yeah.
well when they came over. Can I tell a story about your parents? So yes, they had been to Vietnam and they'd been there. Had they been just there the whole time?
They moved around a little bit, but mostly in Vietnam. Yeah.
Wow. Can you please tell the listeners what your parents got you as a gift for, like, we've been away for a while, we went to this beautiful place, we've done lots of shopping.
Yeah.
Here's a gift for you, our son.
So if you don't know, it's a traditional custom, and it came back from Vietnam, and I was like really like. Well, no, I was really like, oh my God, what's it going to be? Because they'll get me something beautiful from Vietnam, and I was like, this is going to be beautiful. If you don't know, it's a custom in Vietnam to bring your son, if you're the son, an electric toothbrush.
An Oral-B electric toothbrush.
An electric toothbrush. Dave Warnicky was here as well, and he was like, what? What you got from Vietnam, an electric toothbrush? And I was like, do you want an electric toothbrush? Would you like?
Your mum said, I'm sorry, Dave, if I'd known
really
you would have
hard to
been
buy
here,
for.
if I'd known you were going to be here, I could have got you one as well, to Dave Warnicky. She said, you're very hard to buy for, and I quote, I've heard that electric toothbrushes are very, very good for your teeth, and that's what
the
our
Vietnamese
dentist.
person's favourite.
I believe she said she got it from Big W, especially when she got home.
Oh, she got home.
Or maybe not.
Oh, in my head, I just thought they got it from me.
Duty
for
free.
me. Yeah.
Duty free. Well, she also got me a gift.
Yeah.
Because when they were coming around on the weekend and you obviously said I was going to be here but didn't tell them Dave was.
Yeah.
And she gave me this beautiful like silk hair scarf, gorgeous, like bright orange silk hair scarf.
So you were playing with that. I was playing with my electric toothbrush. Yeah.
Playing. We were all playing. And she handed it over to me and she said, now, I have to be honest because you'll see the tag. It's not actually from Vietnam, but when Sammy said we were going to see you, I went out to the local store and asked if they had anything made in Vietnam. She goes, but they didn't. So this says made in India on it, but I thought
so
it was
funny.
lovely and
Close
you would
enough.
like it. It's so cute.
It's so good. It's so good.
It is so cute. to first of all go, oh my God, I'll have to get her a present.
I had to get her one as well.
And then to go into a local store on Phillip Island and say, do you have anything made in Vietnam? It's amazing.
It's so good.
I love it so much.
Every time I use my electric toothbrush, though, I think of Vietnam.
Oh, God.
I have flashbacks
of
That was one of my favourite Greg Fleet lines. He used to say, oh my God, he just like pause for a while in conversation. He'd go, oh, I'm having flashbacks of Nam. And I go, oh my God, I didn't know that you served. And he'd go, Cheltenham.
Oh my God.
Which you would like because you grew up around there.
I did.
In and around there.
In and around Cheltenham. Oh, you know what? That's actually a good time for me I want to give a shout out to. So,
and I would too.
Thank you.
Please don't say anything controversial.
You reminded me because you said Cheltenham, but I wanted to anyway because a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, I told you about how I worked at a ballet school.
Oh, yeah.
My VC dance teacher's ballet school I worked at for a couple of years while I was in uni. But the ballet school I went to, she is my close friend, Rachel Shields. Shout out, love you. The ballet school that I went to for all my years of doing dancing is called Bow Rock Ballet School. So it's in Bayside in Melbourne. And I want to give them a shout out because I've heard on the grapevine, people in Melbourne will know it's called the Bayside Bubble. Anything that happens in Bayside you hear about. So I've done all of Bayside. I've done all of Bayside. They're a student that they had for years and years and then trained to become a dance teacher and then was a teacher at the school as well, has gone off and started another school as a direct competitor. Oh,
wow. Okay.
And that has made me really angry because the people, and I don't know who this person is, but the people who run Bow Rock Ballet School are the most beautiful people in the world. Yeah. Shout out Jenny Guthrie. She was my ballet teacher when I was a tiny tot and she's still running the school. She's amazing and they're the most beautiful people. So if you live in Bayside and you have a little one who wants to do dancing or a big one who wants to do dancing, I did it until I was like 21 at Bow Rock. Check out Bow Rock Ballet School.
Yeah, check it out. Go and check it out.
And stuff our American listeners will love that. It's very relatable stuff.
It's very nice. Very relatable content. Yeah. Before we get in today's episode, I will tell you another story about my dad really quickly.
Oh, please. I love your dad's
I haven't actually told a story about my dad. This is the first time talking about him.
We were talking about your mum.
Talking about my mum, but my dad is the nicest man in the world. Yeah. I have told people, and I mentioned this on an episode I did of Willosophy. I said that my dad is the dad from the castle.
So I was telling my friend a story about your dad the other day. Yeah. And my friend said he sounds like the dad from the castle.
He absolutely is.
And that's what you say.
Well, I told you that before you met him and you didn't really believe me.
I thought you had maybe over-exaggerated some of the stories because they sound a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then I met him and they're all true.
Well, he was chuffed when he heard that I called him the dad from the castle. He just thought that was so wonderful. But he would. He thinks everything's wonderful. And my dad loves hazelnut swirl. If you don't know what that is, if you don't know what that is something they have at Gloria Jean's, beautiful coffee shop, like a Starbucks.
Like a Starbucks, but not nearly as big a chain and probably not even as good.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like hazelnut syrup just poured into a coffee.
Into a coffee. And I went to, when I first moved to Melbourne, I was in a place called Brunswick, which is very, very cool. And there was a beautiful little cafe and it was a really trendy, cool cafe. And this was in like the 1940s.
Yes, when you first moved to Melbourne.
And Dad went in there and he was like, oh, so do you have to the real cool person that took our order, just a flat white, but do you have a hazelnut swirl?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and they're like, what is that? And they're like, hazelnut swirl? You don't have a hazelnut swirl? And they went, no, we've got, what do you want, like sugar or something? And he's like, no, a hazelnut swirl. He went into the city, which was about 20 minutes on the tram. He went into the city, picked up 2 bottles of hazelnut swirl from Gloria Jean's syrup. And came back and just plonked them on the counter, these 2 really heavy bottles, and just put them there. And so when he was here the other day, he asked me for some syrup. And I said, I don't have syrup. And he went,
made a beautiful coffee.
I made a beautiful coffee for him from a lovely coffee machine.
You make a very good coffee.
Thank you for saying that.
And
he said, do you have any syrup? And I was like, I've got like cocktail syrup, like sweet syrup.
Literally like sugar syrup you put in cocktails.
And he goes, well, that'd be great.
Oh my God.
And he poured heaps in. And then when he had it, he went, whoa.
I saw something going on because you were like giving me a look like, look at what's going on, look at this, and I didn't
He's
know
having
what was
some syrup.
happening. And the second they walked out the door, you went, did you see the syrup?
Did you see the syrup?
Oh my God, he's so
funny.
cute.
The simple syrup, so good.
Oh, he's so
He's
cute.
the best. I love that guy. Hey, if you want to leave us a 5-star
No.
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
Leave us a 5-star rating. Leave us a 5-star review. We'll read it out on the podcast. We do a mailbag section at the end, and we'll read a review today.
Okay.
Gee, we would love that. And we would love to read it. And also, goddamn, we love you sharing this podcast around with friends. We love hearing from you. We love hearing your comments. We love you commenting on the Instagram. We love reading your Spotify comments, the nice ones. We don't love all of them. We don't like all of them. But yeah, we absolutely love that. So please share this podcast around with people. You can write into me at sammy@justanothercompany.com.au. You can also leave us a voicemail, which is called a speak pipe. That's the website. All the links are below and also on the Instagram.
Which is Not Another Crime Podcast and the same on TikTok.
The same on goddamn TikTok as well. Hey, G-Love, are you ready for this week's episode?
Yeah.
I don't think you are, but I want to tell you about it
I've just remembered
anyway.
that you said what it was and it doesn't sound nice.
Sometimes you forget that we're doing a true crime podcast.
I do. I'm loving the chat. We're talking about Harley. We're talking about Hazelnut Swirl. Diggs is lying asleep on the couch next to us. It's lovely.
Setting, actually.
And then I remember.
No. Gee, this week I'm going to take you to Perth in 1986. The story is extremely well known in Australia and has been suggested by numerous people so far. Oh. David Peening, Sarah Littlehales, and Jacqueline. Jacqueline.
It's a bit like Dracula if he married Jacqueline.
I haven't got a last name for Jacqueline, but thank you, Jacqueline.
Maybe it's Jacqueline.
Thank you to the wonderful people for suggesting the cases.
Also, this is definitely going to be another one of those ones that I get laughed at about, isn't it? Because I was like, I've never heard this. And your first line that you've written in the script is, this is a very well known.
But maybe not to everyone. We are going to, at some point, have the great, the actor, Stephen Curry, on this, who I'll tell you about at the end why he's related to this case, because he actually played one of these people in a film.
You've
about
just told
this.
us.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you again at the end.
I've
written something at the end.
You're not great at those teasers, are you? Hey, we'll work on it.
I have a secret about Stephen Curry, and I'll tell you all of it now.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thank you, sweetie. Now, Perth, for international listeners, is described as the most isolated city in the world. This is because it's geographically distant from other major population centres, particularly in Australia and internationally. While it's not the most remote place on Earth in terms of absolute distance, it is the most isolated major city, meaning it's the largest city with the greatest distance to the next major city of similar size. At the time of recording, Perth has an estimated population of 2.3 million, but in 1986 had around 925,000 people.
Quite a lot of people that have been born since 1986,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Absolutely. A lot of people. Perth have been busy.
Oh, there are a lot of personalities. That's my favourite saying.
I love it so much.
Like influencers and famous people in Perth are called personalities.
I've been researching another Perth case, and in it I have worked in personalities.
Great.
Just for you.
Well, you should have done that one today while you've got your lisp.
Oh, that would actually be great. This story, which occurred in Perth, really is a gruesome story of a serial killer couple who took the lives of 4 young women in 1986 and the incredible girl who escaped, Kate Moyer. Gee, do you know a lot about David and Catherine Birnie? We've already kind of discussed this. You don't know much at all.
I love when we read our scripts.
I know.
We had an idea in our head of how the other one will react.
Yeah.
No,
I know.
don't.
No, that's a secret. We just answered it. No.
We're doing well today. We're doing really well today. We're not giving anything away.
David Birnie was born February 6, 1951 to John and Margaret Birnie. He was the firstborn of 5 siblings. He did not have an ideal childhood. It was a very dysfunctional family. Both of his parents were alcoholics, and the government frequently stepped in to remove the kids for extended periods of time.
It's sad.
There was also gossip around the time that there was sexual abuse also taking place in the family home. David was a sickly kid. He was frail and always looked ill. The house was always really dirty, and John and Margaret, David's parents, never cooked for the children, ever.
What?
The children and dogs had to help themselves to anything in the open fridge.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's awful.
And you also imagine the heat in Perth as well, just an open fridge just there.
Oh, God.
For international listeners, Perth is really, really a hot place. It's always kind of just scorching. When I was in Perth, it was like the coldest I'd ever been in Perth, and it was like 25 degrees.
Oh, how nice.
The house was always filthy, and people always stayed clear of the Birnies when they saw them in the town. John, the father, was a humpback man because of a spine condition and had such a bad stutter it was difficult to understand what he was saying. Margaret was said to be a chain smoker and would exchange sexual favours for taxi rides instead of paying for them. She was known for constantly screaming and yelling at the kids.
And they had 5 kids.
5 kids, yeah. David was known in his school for his violent drawings, and his old teachers have since spoken out thinking he would be a violent person later in life.
Oh.
When David was 10, his parents divorced and he was expected to care for his 5 younger siblings.
When he was 10?
When he was 10 years old. He refused to see his parents again and became a ward of the state. Now, there was a story as well that I didn't write down here, but I'll just tell you about quickly. Neither of his parents wanted him. Which would be such a crushing thing as well. And, you know, when we say this, we're not making excuses for these people. No. It's just interesting to look at the psychology of these people. Yeah.
That's so much more than like crushing for that to happen. That would be so psychologically damaging.
In his teens, he was convicted of numerous felonies. He dropped out of high school to pursue being a jockey at the Ascot racetrack. He tried his hand at being a jockey in a local place, but it didn't go too well. He was cruel to horses.
How often do we hear about
all
cruelty
the
to animals
time,
as a
and
child?
serial killer is a link. He was caught beating horses, consistently mistreating them, and multiple times he was caught exposing himself to different people around the stables. There's a story about him as well, riding naked on horseback. It was around this time that he was living at this horse park, trying to make it as a jockey, that he broke into a woman's house completely naked, except for a stocking over his head, and he committed his first rape.
Oh, God.
His trainer, who he was working with at the time, saw a lot of red flags with David as a person and kicked him out. And David then continued his life of crime. Catherine Harrison, who later became Catherine Birnie, was born in 1951. Catherine's mother passed away when she was very young, giving birth to their other child.
Okay, you've briefly mentioned one crime that I know is not even the crimes we're talking about, and this is already the darkest story I think you've told.
It's so dark. It is so dark. Like I said before. Buckle in, G-Love.
I'm really glad we've done this one when you've got an ulcer in your mouth and I've got a bit of a bad tummy. Yeah, and at night. I would drive home. Oh, God.
Catherine went with her father to South Africa for a few years. Her dad, Harold, was having a hard time raising her and then sent her back to live with her grandparents. Catherine was not allowed to play with other children. She was really lonely as a child, and other kids described her as never seeing her ever smile. Oh. Parents would not let their kids play with her because they thought she was a very odd child. When Catherine was 10 years old, her father decided that he wanted custody of her, and he fought her grandparents for custody again. David and Catherine met when they were kids. In their teen years, they reunited and started seeing each other. Catherine wanted to be loved. She didn't have a lot of affection growing up, and she found that in David Birnie. She would do anything for him, absolutely anything. Catherine's father, Harold, was not a big fan of David, mostly because he thought he was a bad influence on her. The more Harold disapproved of David, the more they grew inseparable. In 1969, they were both around 18 years old. They set out on a crime spree.
Together,
yeah. They were stealing as much as they could at this point. Catherine was pregnant, not with David's baby, but someone else, and they ended up getting caught with 11 counts of breaking and entering. God. They'd taken about $3,000 worth of goods, and back then as well.
1969.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They pled guilty. David got 9 months and Catherine got probation. The very next month, they were back in court with additional counts. David got 3 additional years to his sentence. Catherine got probation, but they tack on some time and she gets 4 years probation. If she steps out of line, she'll go to jail. A year in, David breaks out of jail and reunites with Catherine.
Oh, my God.
They continue to steal, but they were caught the next month. This time, they are facing around 50 counts.
Oh, shit. Sorry, also, imagine breaking out of prison. You've successfully broken out.
Yeah.
Don't go around stealing shit again.
Lay low. That's what I always say.
And that is my advice to all of you out there.
Lay low.
For if and when you break out of prison, remember this.
Lay low. Also
Lay
good
low.
for fires. Lay low.
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll, baby. Hey, my friend who lives in Perth is a firefighter.
Oh.
So,
Incredible stuff. Incredible connection from you.
Thanks.
Catherine told authorities at the time that there wasn't anything she wouldn't do for David. She was so attached to him, so in love and spellbound by him.
Which, at 18, everyone thought they were.
Of course. And we will go into Catherine a bit later because it will be interesting to hear your opinion about this as well.
I never have opinions on anything. Why would you ask for that?
Okay, let's lay low then. That's a new catchphrase. We'll get merch. In 1970, David broke out of prison and he and Catherine went on a spree together. They were found not long after. David got an additional 2.5 years in prison, which seemed weird after breaking out that he only got that. Catherine got 6 months in prison and her baby was taken away from her. Harold continually asked Catherine to leave David, that he kept getting her into a life of crime, but she wanted to be with him more and more.
The worst thing you can do is tell a teenager, don't do this thing, please.
Yeah. When Catherine finally got out of prison, she got her baby back and is told by a parole officer that she is not to see David again, which I know a police officer can't really tell you that unless there's a strict thing in below. That feels like a parent going, you're not to see him again.
Yeah, well, they're handing this 18 or 19-year-old the baby for the first time, any kind of... I feel like any human, let alone someone who's in a role like a parole officer who would be, protective like that.
So heartbreaking, the story. Catherine got a job as a live-in nanny in Fremantle, which Fremantle is a beautiful part in Perth. About 30 minutes.
That's where Cam is a firefighter.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Cam.
it's a beautiful, it's kind of a hot spot for tourists in Perth. She fell in love with a man by the name of Donald McLaughlin, who was the son of the people she was nannying for, and they ended up getting married. Now, he was a similar age to, she wasn't nannying for him.
Okay.
They ended up getting married in 1972 when Catherine was 21 years old.
Oof.
They end up having 7 children together.
What?
Yeah, 7
you
children.
cannot just say that whatever, they were 21, she had 7 children.
Yada, yada, 7 children
You
together.
yada over the best part. Tell me how they were conceived.
When their baby was an infant, she witnessed a really tragic accident when the baby was killed by her friend who backed over the baby when leaving their house.
Holy shit.
In the driveway.
Oh, God, that is awful.
Isn't that? You would not recover.
Oh, God, that is awful.
Like that. Awful.
Why would you put that in? You were like, I haven't given all the details.
I just think the backstory.
This isn't even part.
I know. I think the backstory is fascinating. Describing a little more about Donald and Catherine. Donald was unemployed after having a terrible back injury, and they didn't have a lot of money. But they did have 7 kids. Well, it's 6 at the time, and they were described as being really messy. People who visited the home described it as a literal pigsty. Now, I think, there's a lot of trauma here as well. Like, obviously think, in Catherine and David, there's a lot of trauma, but especially after witnessing that, why wouldn't it be a pigsty?
Oh, my gosh. I've got shivers. I'm touching all the wood around me.
Hey, don't touch your head.
I did.
Yeah, I saw you. Don't
I
touch
knocked on my head and the chair.
Don't do that. Hey, that's a good friend of mine you're talking about right there. In 1972, in his early 20s, David married his first wife, Kerry. They had a child together named Tanya, who is now an adult, and decided not to have children. She's changed her name, and she said, I do not want to spawn another David Birnie.
Wow.
Such a huge thing to say. Yeah, she changed her name and moved away. We don't know anything about her. Which is great. I think, good for her. Kerry and David always had a good life, but after a head injury from David, things changed. David had a head injury, sorry. Oh my God. Things changed in him. He had a string of affairs and became a very violent person. He was a sex addict, and this is going back a long way. People always said he was a porn addict and a sex addict. And then one day he brought his 16-year-old girlfriend home.
Okay.
Moving Tanya out of her room, his child, And this was the last straw for Kerry. In 1982, David and Kerry ended up separating.
I would think
Kerry.
so.
Yeah.
Also, can I just have a moment for how Australian in that, like in the 70s, 60s, is David, Kerry and Tanya?
I know. It's so Australian. David then tracked down Catherine.
Uh-oh.
The two of them were reunited. They begin having an affair. She realises one day that all she wants is David. She calls her husband Donald and said that she's never coming back. She leaves Donald with the 6 kids.
No.
And moves in with David.
No. She does not leave her children behind.
At this point, they're both 35 years old. Now, David and Catherine were never married, but she did legally change her name to Catherine Birnie. They were
kind of all marriage does anyway.
Yeah.
Except for just make shit really messy at the other end.
And an unbreakable bond.
Keep going.
They are living in 3 Morehouse Street in Willagee, just outside of Perth. I hadn't heard of Willagee before, but
How is it spelt, please?
Willagee.
Oh, funny name.
Yeah. I guess it's an Aboriginal name, Willagee, do you think?
Is, yeah.
It's a bungalow, really run down, this house, and it's the worst on the street. It's said that it made every other house on the street look like a palace in comparison.
Well, they do say you're better off to get the worst house in the best street.
Yeah,
but this might have been the worst house in the worst street.
I think so. Really interesting, actually, to see. I looked this house up just out of curiosity, and it has sold, a couple of times, which... When you hear about this story, like, oh, that is awful to imagine living in that house. But it's,
But if you don't have any spiritual beliefs at all, you get a pretty good rate, I reckon.
Absolutely. The guy in the Fox Hollow farm just trying to relive that life. And you're like, oh, I don't like that. It had weeds everywhere, this house, and was in need of lots of repairs. David's younger brother, James, once went to stay with David and Catherine after he was released from prison. He served 6 months for assault of his 6-month-old niece.
Jesus Christ.
I will say a huge warning here. He later said to a reporter that the 6-month-old led him on and stated, "You don't know what they can be like."
What the fuck, Sammy?
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about a sexual assault?
Yeah.
No.
Sexual assault. Yeah.
No. How long is this story to go?
If you just sit the next 40 minutes out about that.
Oh, God.
His brother said that David had an insatiable appetite for sex. He often wanted to have sex up to 6 times a day. James said that his brother was into kinky sex, heavily into pornography, and was always wanting to have sex constantly. He also said that his brother would inject some kind of numbing agent into his penis to make it all last longer.
What? Well, hang on. If it's numb, why you like...
Well, I think just so he wouldn't come so quickly, I think. Like that was the idea. Can I say that?
No. Yeah, you can.
Okay,
but it was just like it's such a horrible story. You just said really seriously, just really looked right at me.
About that. I do apologise to everybody. I apologise to myself as well. You're better than this, MEP. When Catherine didn't want to have sex, David would turn to an incestuous relationship with his younger brother, James.
Oh, God.
I'm really skipping over this stuff. For his 21st birthday, David gave his brother a birthday present of being able to sleep with Catherine while David watched. Nothing was ever enough for David. Before long, Catherine and David started talking about abducting and raping a woman.
Like what? Hang on.
Yeah.
What? How does that...
I don't know how that conversation ever comes up. I mean, it's so awful, and this is what we'll talk about later, actually in the next paragraph about Catherine. David told her that she would achieve the best orgasms of her life if she was watching him have sex with another woman while she was restrained. So this is how he's selling it to her. Catherine was very much under his control. She would have done absolutely anything for him. Over a 5-week period, they would go on to abduct and rape 5 women.
Jesus Christ.
Now, here I'm not saying that Catherine is not part of this and for the monstrosities committed, but David was a very controlling figure in her life and was able to manipulate her into doing anything that he wanted. There was something in her that wanted to believe what he did was what he said, so wanted to believe what he said and trust him completely. It is said by many that she was a willing willing participant in the atrocities that took place.
This reminds me a little bit of the girl in the box story that you told me.
with Colleen Stan.
Yes, exactly. It's by all accounts from that one, it seemed like the wife in that situation was very controlled, but also, I don't know, thankfully I haven't been in a relationship like that, but I can't. I just feel like for humans, there's a level of complicity, compliance. Compliance. I can't understand how you can say that they've only been controlled to do that and they're not willing and complicit at all.
No, and I think a willing participant is a good summary of that, because it's like, but you were involved and and as it goes on, you'll find out later Catherine's later life. Like I think it is really interesting, but also I think it would be incorrect to say that she did not have any involvement. She was forced to do it.
Yes. Right, okay.
22-year-old student Mary Nielsen was studying psychology, working part-time in a deli in Perth. She dropped by David and Catherine's house on October 6, 1986. She had met David earlier at his work. He worked at a spare parts yard. She was looking for tyres for her car. He said that if she came by his house, he would give her a much better deal.
Uh-oh.
She was strapped for cash, and this sounded like a really good deal to her. He gave her his number, and they arranged for her to come over and get the tyres shortly after.
How old did you say she was? 22?
22, yeah. As soon as she entered, she was taken at knife point, bound and tied to the bed. Catherine watched while David continually raped her. Catherine talked to him as the encounters unfolded. She was asking him questions about what was turning him on, about the rapes.
God, that's so sick.
They eventually took her to the national park where David raped her again, strangled her with a nylon rope, and then stabbed her through the heart.
Oh, God.
They buried her in a shallow grave.
Oh.
This was going to be something they would do several more times. This was going to be their graveyard in the national park, the place where they would end up dumping all of the bodies from here on. To get away with what they described as the perfect murder, they drove her car to a nearby police station so it would not arouse any suspicion that it was nearby, and left it there. They thought they wouldn't suspect a car being abandoned so close.
Oh, like to
a police station.
They wouldn't think that any
Why
suspects.
would there be? Yeah.
It must have been her who drove it there.
Absolutely. Or that why would they investigate a car that's been dumped? Why would someone dump it just there?
Yeah, but someone's going to report her missing at some point.
Yeah. They would later state they did weeks of research before they began on how to get away with a perfect murder. Nothing was random. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Well, sorry, spoiler alert. We're telling this story, so you didn't.
Yeah, no, it's not the perfect murder at all. There's nothing like a perfect murder at all.
Saying that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you followed it up with
that. This was something that they had been planning for some time. The victim fell into their lap. They met randomly at David's work. After their first murder, they actively started searching for the next victims. Catherine would choose which victims she found suitable when driving by. She did. They had a code word, an innocuous phrase, to their passenger, so that their passenger wouldn't know what they were saying.
So if they picked someone up in the car, Catherine would be like, would say the code word to be like, "We're taking this one home," or if she didn't say it, that's right, they'll drop her off.
Yeah. Oh. If she said she had the munchies, then that would be the next victim. Fuck. Catherine also had a very large knife with her that she would call Bubba.
Ew.
As soon as the code word was used, Catherine would pull out the knife to hold against the girl's throat. October 20th, they picked up a 15-year-old girl by the name of Susanna Candy. She'd been walking and hitchhiking in Claremont. Oh. Within seconds of getting in the car, the couple had a knife pressed firmly by her throat, binding her hands before they took her back to Morehouse Street.
This again reminds me of Colleen Stan, because she'd said she was hitchhiking and a man came to pick her up and she said no, and then a couple came.
Quite a few cars went by and she didn't feel safe by any of the circumstances. And
why would you think that a couple in their 30s would... Oh.
They forced her to write letters to her family, telling them she decided to go to Queensland and not to worry about her. Now, Queensland is a very long way from Perth as well. So, imagine at this time, it would be quite hard to check that stuff as well. Yeah. Like, you've gone to the other side of Australia.
Yeah, you're not hopping on Instagram and seeing her pictures she's posting from Surfers Paradise Beach.
The same thing happened as before. She was gagged and repeatedly raped. After the rape, Catherine got into bed so she could be there with David as he strangled Susanna.
Holy.
Suddenly, Catherine is wanting to be more involved in the actions.
Yeah.
David attempted to strangle Susanna, but she was fighting too hard. He then had to go to plan B, which was to force sleeping pills down her throat.
Oh, God.
Once she passed out, he was again able to use a nylon cord around her neck and strangle her.
This is a really sick thing to think about, but that would have taken so long.
So long.
Oh, that's
It's just awful. They then buried her in a shallow grave in the same national park. On November 1st, David and Catherine saw 31-year-old Nolene Patterson. She was standing behind her car in East Fremantle. She'd run out of gas when she was on her way home from work. When she got into their car, the word munchies was used and then a knife was held again to her throat. The same torture took place. Instead of killing her right away like they did with the other victims, they kept her in the house for 3 days.
Oh, God.
During this time, they forced her to call friends, tell them she was doing okay, and to pick up her car. So told her friends to pick up the car. David had grown really fond of her and wanted to keep her around. This did not go over well with Catherine. Catherine got really jealous. She could see what was going on. She didn't understand why Nolene was still there. Catherine gave him an ultimatum. Either David would kill Noreen or Catherine would end her own life. She was extremely threatened. David again forced sleeping pills down Nolene's throat and then strangled her. They took her to the national park again and buried her with the others. It was also reported that, at the time, as they were burying Nolene, Catherine picked up some sand and threw it in Nolene's face, which made her very happy.
Oh, all of this is so sick, but that's just
sick.
Yeah.
Disgusting, isn't it? On December 5th, they picked up 21-year-old Denise Brown, and she was waiting at a bus stop. Pretty quickly, she found herself with a knife again held to her throat, where the same rape and tortures happened again. The next afternoon, they take her out to the national park. David then raped her, the poor girl, twice, once in the car in the national park and outside of it. While this is happening, Catherine plunges a knife into her neck while David is raping her.
Oh, so she's now physically involved in the murders as well.
Again, they dig a shallow grave. Thinking she is dead, they are ready to leave, but she sits up. David grabs an axe and swings it twice into her head.
No.
After Denise has gone missing, a detective by the name of Paul Ferguson is working on the case. He's become convinced by this stage that they have a serial killer on their hands. A number of women have disappeared. Denise was the fourth young woman in less than a month.
Oh, God, how terrifying.
Terrifying. This was extremely out of the ordinary in Perth. Paul does not believe that all of these 4 girls would have just left. He starts the investigation, digging into any boyfriends or partners that they might have had at the time. Did any of these girls have drug problems or anything they might have not want anyone to know about? Was there a darker side? But nothing came up.
Because they're all just random, weren't they?
Yeah, all just random. 2 of these women, though, had contacted their families and friends, which really threw police off at the time.
What? What do you mean after they went missing? What?
Yeah, after they went missing. So at Catherine and David's house, you remember they were
the
calling
letter,
and they were
of
writing.
course.
They would go calling as well. So they were saying that I'm fine. Then they pick up 17-year-old Kate Moyer. And once again, she is taken back to the house with a knife to her throat. She is chained to the bed while David rapes her and Catherine watches. The next morning, David goes to work and Catherine is left to watch over Kate.
Oh.
Catherine takes her chains off and tells her to call her parents and say that she has spent the night with friends. Someone knocks on the door. Catherine goes to answer, leaving Kate by herself unchained for the first time. Kate has a few moments here to decide what she is going to do. She decides to make a run for it.
Yes, good girl.
She climbs out of the bathroom and runs.
Good girl.
There is little research to suggest that at this point Catherine was sick of the murders and wanted to leave Kate unchained at the time. Kate ran as fast as she could, half naked, and arrives at a supermarket where the owner calls the police because he has a really distressed girl with him. She's taken to the station and tells her horrific story. It has been reported that police did not believe her, but there was a female officer that did and interviewed her.
How the heck? Like, what?
Why would you lie about something
exactly.
like that? You're in a state of distress. Like, why wouldn't you just listen?
Oh, God, that's awful.
I think also it's like 1969 in Perth, like just all the men that worked
86? Oh, wait, it's still the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like, why? Again,
yeah.
I know that it was a slightly different time then, but why, if someone comes in to report a crime, why would the go-to be to not believe? Like, your job as a police officer is to...
that's all you're doing, yeah. So Kate had not only escaped, but I believe saved a lot of lives in doing so. So Kate at the time was not much younger than the police officer who looked into the case, who was just out of the academy and can tell from her it's a real story.
Oh, wow.
Kate remembered a lot of details about the house, which is insane. Her to be able to do this. She remembered there was a VHS
Good boy.
Being watched at the time, Rocky. The band Dire Straits was playing on a cassette, and the man and woman used fake names when they were addressing each other. She knew this because she saw a medicine bottle with the name David Birnie printed on it.
Oh, wow.
She also told the officer that she had drawn some pictures while she was in the house and had hidden them so that people would know that she had been there if she didn't make it out.
Oh, imagine having that thought.
But also how brave and wonderful. Like
Incredible.
I think she just saved so many.
Oh, God.
I mean,
it
it's so
that's
fucking
without
horrible,
a doubt it
but
feels.
yeah. Remarkably, Kate can also give the police the house number.
Oh.
David Birnie is known to police. They take Kate in the car and go to Morehouse Street. They talk to Catherine Birnie. Catherine says that she recognises the girl in the car, but will not speak until David does.
They did not take her in the car with them. Jesus Christ. Police work in the 80s was fucking rogue. As if you take her there.
David is immediately picked up and they both tell the story that they know the girl, but she came to the house of her own volition, wanting to party and do drugs together. They also made out that all the sex was consensual. Leaving Kate in the car, they go into the house and see chains, handcuffs.
Hang on, the police leave Kate in the car.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And they find the movie Rocky in the VHS, Dire Straits, sleeping pills, and her drawings. They were all details she had given previously, so they knew that she was telling the truth. Police take David and Catherine to the station and start to quiz them, but they aren't cracking. Then, as a tactic, one of the officers decides, at this point he's bluffing, that he's going to get some shovels and go and dig up the graves. David Birnie falls for it, that this officer somehow knew that there were graves, and tells detectives that there are 4 of them.
So he's just been completely tricked into that. They've just tried a tactic.
Tried it. Catherine is told that David confessed, and then she broke down too and tells them everything. They then lead police to the graves. It was like they were showing off. Excited that they were showing off what they had done. They are both sent to trial. David pled guilty to 4 counts of murder and one count of each of all 4 abductions and rape. He is asked why he pled guilty, and he said that it was the least he could do, which I don't believe for a second.
What?
He was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences. He was trembling as the sentence was read out. Everything is suddenly out of his control.
Oh, boo-hoo. So sorry for you.
Well, I mean, just he was such a controlling person that this is the first time ever that, he's like, oh, God, I'm done. Catherine was a little different. She was charged with the same things, but there was a question on whether or not she was sane enough to stand trial. She was found fit enough to stand and got the same sentence.
Whoa.
The judge said, in my opinion, you should never be released to be with David Birnie. You should never be allowed to see him again.
Good.
David Birnie was sent to a maximum security prison in Fremantle, but then was sent to solitary confinement because apparently he was a danger to other prisoners.
Oh, God.
He stayed there until the prison closed in 1990. While they were in prison, David and Catherine wrote over 2,600 letters.
There's not much else to do.
Back and forth to each other. David was found dead in his cell on October 7th, 2005, having hung himself. Having hanged himself.
Sorry, I genuinely hear myself correcting. Yep. I'm sorry, it's a really bad trait.
The next day, he was meant to be in court for the rape of a fellow prisoner.
Oh, what an absolute prick.
Catherine was still in prison and at this point the head librarian. She was rejected parole in 2007. The Attorney General said that she would not be released as long as he was in office.
Good. Because also 2007 from, what did you say it was, like
1986? Yeah.
That's not full life terms by any stretch.
Not at all. Kate Moyer had made it her mission to make sure that Catherine would never get out. Paul Ferguson also came out and said that they should never, ever be released. This was a detective. He said that Catherine and David would never have given their victims any ounce of thought. They were just toys and instruments for them to use.
That's the bit that's so hard to reckon with as a human who is, not a psychopath, how you can treat any other human like they are not human in that way. You just can't.
Just disgusting. They did not treat them like human beings. He said Catherine forfeited her right to ever walk out of prison.
Yes.
Catherine's son, who was 5 years old when she was arrested, was interviewed and spoke out on the idea of her getting parole. He said he was always beaten for being Catherine Birnie's son.
Oh.
He said, I've been bashed over it. I've lost my teeth in my gob over it. I've been knocked out. No teeth left to have in my gob. When it was...
is that Catherine and David's son?
No, this is just Catherine's son. Okay. Yeah, so she had seven kids.
So it was one of the kids that she left behind. Okay, sorry, yep.
When it was close to her time for parole, Catherine wrote a letter to her kids. I never stopped loving any of you kids, but I thought you'd be safer with your father.
No,
I'm not proud of what has been said about me.
Oh!
But I have to live with that and the memories. Once again, my love to all of your kids. Once again, my love to all of you kids. And I hope one day you'll come to see your mum.
Nope.
Maybe you'll write to me because I'd really like to hear from all of you.
I don't care what you'd like.
I love your kids. I love you kids.
Nope.
Her son replied, that's rubbish.
Good.
She's at the stage now that she's eligible for parole. She wants to try to get at least one of us family members. So we'll take on responsibility if you do get out.
So, yeah, she's only reached out to them once she was reached her parole. Oh.
We don't want that. Anyone who takes someone's life shouldn't be able to live with themselves. The interviewer asked Catherine's son the question, it wouldn't bother you if she was killed, executed? Wouldn't bother me, he replied. I would party for a week.
Wow.
Hurry up and die.
Oh, wow.
Catherine's case was set to be reviewed again in 2010. But in 2009, there was a new Attorney General in WA who said that she was not ever getting parole.
Wow.
He changed her status as never to be released.
Wow.
There is a film based on David and Catherine called Hounds of Love, starring the actor Stephen Curry and Emma Booth.
There's the reveal.
As you would know from listening to this story, it's an absolute horror film and extra horrifying because it's based on actual events. Now, they do change their surnames to White, I think, in the films, but it is grotesque.
Scarily.
It is a very hard watch. But if you have the stomach for it, I would say to watch it because it's wonderful. The actor Stephen Curry is one of my very close friends, and we're going to have him on at some point. He said he would to actually talk about this possibly as a Thursday treat and for him to get his mind into David Birnie.
How to play? Oh, so he played David.
Yeah, and he's absolutely terrifying. He's so terrifying. That G is the story of David and Catherine Birnie's, otherwise known as the Morehouse murders.
Oh God, it's really fascinating to me that I don't know that story when it's Australian.
Yeah, I knew it because of the film.
Yes, okay, yeah.
But it is so disturbing. I mean, and Perth in this time. I mean, you had the Claremont killer, and you had Eric Edgar Cook, who was a serial killer at the time, but he also did a lot more than that. And he was a different serial killer because he didn't have an MO. Like he would change everything. He'd do hit and runs. He'd stab people. He had a gun. And these people, in 5 weeks. And when I'm talking about everything they did, there might be more. There might be many other things. Yeah. And there have been stated that there are other cases that are unsolved at that time.
The first thing you said he did was when he was training to be a jockey when he was still a teenager and he went and raped someone. I just feel like someone like that isn't taking a break between being a teenager and late 30s.
And I will tell you listeners as well that was the condensed version of the story. There are so many details about what actually took place in Morehouse Street. It is awful. There is so much in there. There is so much in this case, and I find it fascinating as well that the Catherine Birnie's kid spoke out. Tanya, David's daughter, of course, will never spawn another David Birnie, which I find fascinating in itself. To be able to say that about your father is the courage,
the strength of someone in themselves to go. That's not because it's. That's the thing. It wasn't their father and their mother. It just happens to be the people who biologically had them. But both of them ditched their kids as well, so they didn't raise them. And thank God they didn't because I think about that so often with the children of people who commit heinous crimes. Yeah. What does that do to their psyche and their lives?
And feeling like, there's a part of genetics in there as well. Yeah. Like you go, what is this about them? Do I have any of that? Have I got this, propensity? Like is that a part of me as well?
And then to, kind of get deep and psychoanalyze it a bit as well. So to get deep in psycho as I always do. You'd be going, they were the people that were meant to love me the most and love me first, and they couldn't possibly feel love if they're doing this to other people. So what does that mean for me? And God. Oh, that's just
fascinating,
awful.
isn't it?
When you researched that, did you? Because I remember you said when you were went really deep into researching. Which was the one you did recently that you said it really affected you? You're like, I don't want to hear about this person anymore.
Oh, that was. I've been researching Eric Edgar Cook recently.
Was it like that with this too? I feel
I stepped away from this for a week after writing it, because it was. I mean, I brought the details, and the details are gruesome and disgusting. But there are books, like audio books, and there are things you can watch that go into way more detail than I did, and it is horrible to hear that and go, this is a true story.
And it's two people. That's what's so fascinating.
Couple.
We'll do Fred and Rose West at some point, and the Barbie and Ken murders, which are all couples, romantically linked couples. It just... the whole folie à deux thing, again, we've spoken about before. That I think that blows my mind even more because... one person can be an outlier and a psychopath and a sociopath, but for two people to come together to discuss doing something like that together, and then actually, oh my God.
It's horrifying. And to get us out of this today, I thought that we'd play a couple of speak pipes today. If you want to leave us a voicemail, we would absolutely love to hear from you. All of the links are, of course, in our show notes below, but we would absolutely love to goddamn hear from you, wouldn't we, Georgia Love? Because we love hearing your voices.
I think we did really well getting through that without taking any joke breaks as well.
Yeah, we didn't at all, which is pretty good for us, actually.
Do you want to tell me one now?
I haven't got one, but if you've got one, have you got a joke?
I've always got one somewhere around there.
This is good. This is going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yep. What do you got?
Why is dog man's best friend?
Why is that?
Because it's God backwards.
That's really good. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Hello, my horrendous friends. My name is Sarah. I am a huge true crime fan, but also a very big fan of being a little bit silly. So when I found your podcast, I was absolutely elated. But also for the reason that I've just recently started going through a pretty bad breakup. And when I'm hitting that 3 p.m. slump in my workday and I'm starting to get a little bit down, I put you guys on in my ears and I have a little giggle. I feel a bit silly and I feel a little bit better. It also gives me a new crime story to hyperfixate on later in the evening when I'm sad and alone with my cat. Although I don't really think that's a huge issue.
No.
Thank you so much for doing what you do. I love you both so much. I love all the episodes you bring out. And I really appreciate you for keeping me happy and giving me something fun to look forward to every day while I'm going through this kind of crappy time. Thank you so much. I can't wait for new episodes.
Oh, Sarah, I love you so much. The first and most important thing I need to say is you are never alone if you have a cat.
No, and we'd love to hear the name of your cat
much.
as well.
Please tell us your pussycat's name. I'm so sorry you're going through that, Sarah.
Yeah.
Relatable content.
Yeah.
So I'm going through a separation as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was about 3 o'clock. Sorry, it was about 3 o'clock today, Sammy, when I messaged you and was like, I don't know if I record today.
Yeah,
I feel awful and I feel sad and gross. So I get the 3 p.m. slump.
Yeah.
But then I'm sitting next to my favourite person.
Oh,
actually, I'm sitting right across
yeah,
from
not
my
next to.
favourite person. And this has made me feel a bit silly and happy as well. Not the story, but, hanging out and doing this.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah,
I love you.
Sarah, you're
and
the
you know
best.
what? If you can't be a little bit silly, like, man, life is too short.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry about that you're going through that,
Yeah,
Sarah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
awful. But we hope that we add a little bit of extra curiosity and fun to your week as well. We also got this that came through as we're recording. It's 5 seconds long.
What?
And it's from Mama's Boy, which I find fascinating.
What?
That's all that is. Because you hate Mama.
Is someone trolling me?
Yeah, someone's
by
trolling
saying,
you on your own
Why would you
podcast."
play that? Sarah just made me feel warm and
I know, how
fuzzy
disgusting
inside.
is that?
And
Absolutely
now
disgusting.
I hate that. Whoever you are that sent that, please reveal yourself.
Yeah,
It's really
reveal
creepy.
yourself, yeah.
I'm glad that came
We
through
should
as
get
a
their
voicemail.
emails
Like
on
if
there,
that came
so.
through as just like a voicemail on my phone,
Yeah.
I would definitely be calling the cops.
Late at night. We've got a beautiful letter that we'll end on as well. Hi, Sammy and Georgia. I just wanted to express my thanks for your podcast. I've only recently started listening and have binged all episodes on my daily drive to and from work. You both tell these horrifying stories so wonderfully. And I especially love it when Sammy is narrating and we get to hear George's impromptu comments. For example, oh, fuck off, which you did today, which was wonderful.
Sorry.
You'll be happy. Even though these cases are well known, I'd love to hear you tell the stories of Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, and the like. Have a wonderful week. Norel.
Oh, Narelle.
Narelle's beautiful.
Thank
Love you,
you.
Narelle. Yeah.
That's so funny because I've also had people write in being like, when Sammy's telling the story, you always like gasp and make noises and stuff, and it's really bad in my headphones. So
No, it's great.
sorry about that.
You gotta
Thanks,
react.
Narelle. Also, I didn't realise how much I swear like that. Like,
Oh,
I don't,
right.
would you call me a swearer?
I wouldn't call you a swear bear. No way.
Well, why are you winking?
No, you don't.
I don't think I really am either. But when I listen to these stories,
Well, I mean,
back,
they're quite horrendous and horrifying
yes,
cases.
I get worked up.
Yeah, which is so fair.
Sorry,
But thank you, Narelle. No, it's the best. I love
that's a
that.
terrible legacy. I love
Great
it. She yells
legacy.
out things like, "Oh fuck."
Fuck off.
I'm
The
allowed
G's
to say that
catchphrase,
about
fuck
these
off.
people. It is
Yeah.
my catchphrase.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, do you want to do a pet peeve, as we call them, a Paudry peeve?
Oh,
for this
yes,
week?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I've written some down because when I
okay.
just feel them
You're
in
fired
my
up?
day today and I get fired up, I go, oh, I've got a place to put these.
Well, let me tell you this. My favourite genre is documentary. I love watching a documentary. I get really annoyed when people just tell me to watch something that's not a documentary, but they call it a documentary. So,
What do you mean? What?
for example, it'd be something based on a true thing, but it's a actor drama.
Oh,
and people
yes.
go, you got to watch this documentary. And I go, that's not a documentary.
Yeah, like the Menendez brothers thing on Netflix
Yeah, people call that a
recently.
documentary.
It's not a documentary.
And I love documentaries. It's pretty much all I watch. So when
Yeah.
someone recommends something amazing and it's like a reenactment, I had that with the Colleen Stan film, that The Girl in the Box, and someone was like, it's a documentary. And it's like, oh, no, it's not.
No, it's
film.
not.
Yeah.
And even like half the time when you do watch documentaries,
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
them with a bit of a grain of salt as well because they're still films in some ways, and people can choose what to put in and not and stuff. Mine today is badly made toasties.
Oh, okay.
Because toasties are my number one vice. I love them so much. And there is a little bit of guilt about having them sometimes, only because of how often I do. And like, you know, if you're buying one, like they're expensive to buy. They put heaps of butter on them and stuff. There are a few guilty reasons. So I get really peeved if I've got excited to get a toasty.
Yeah.
I've gone and be like, okay, I'll give you the stupid amount of money that this is. And then it's not well made. Is it like it's not really toasted properly, or when they
not
like
what you're looking for, not what you're looking for.
No. If you open up the toasty and you see there's like the cheese and the ham and the tomato are in like one corner and there's just a heap of bread. Yeah.
That's
so
yours.
that's my
so
point.
that.
So that.
Actually that. Yeah.
I love toasties. If you want to send me a toasty,
I'd
you
love
can
to
write to us
get
and
a
send me
toasty from you. Send an email.
If you are a toasty company and want to sponsor me or us,
attachment. Yep.
I know that there are that Big Toasty.
Oh, Big Toasty,
is
huge
a real
companies.
industry.
Yeah,
I believe they're in talks with the US president about tariffs and trade deals and the like at the moment. Big Toasty, but we are willing to be sponsored.
We are willing to be sponsored.
Willing
by
and
Big
available.
Toasty. Hey G Love, thank you so much for this week. Thank you to Oliver Clark for doing the theme song and Tamsin Hayes for doing the artwork. As always, please do leave us a 5-star rating, 5-star review. Would you like to try a review? Would you like to try?
I would.
Why don't
you didn't let me thank you yet?
Beautiful review. Why don't you bloody do it? And also, please do follow us at Not Another Crime Podcast on Instagram and TikTok as well. But we'd bloody love to hear from you. You can leave us a voice.
Artwork.
Oh, a voicemail. It's so good. Voicemail below as well in the show notes. That we call them a speak pipe if you want to do that as well.
I was just looking like into the app to find our podcast, to find reviews, and I just was like, I really like our artwork. All right, we have one from Fee Lily. Great, 5 stars. Discovered this just last week and have already binged all episodes. Love it. And a big smiley face.
I bloody love that.
I bloody love it. This is from Gru Steal the Moon. Love it, 5 stars. People seem to be not liking the babble, in quotation marks, as much as I do. I think that's what makes this so perfect. They acknowledge the importance of the crime, but also presenting them in a light way, which makes it a better listen for me. Doesn't make me walk away and feel drained like a normal true crime podcast, because it's not another crime podcast. Sammy P is, as always, a 10 out of 10. How could you not love it?
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's so true. You are a 10 out of 10.
Thank you for saying that. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening this week. We'll see you on Thursday for a Thursday treat.
Thank you for telling me this story this week, Sammy.
Goddamn pleasure. Bye, Georgia Love. Bye, everybody. Great.
Well